Welcome back to Action Figure Obsession here on the Avian Unloaded channel. I am Avian Unloaded, and I don't have to be as quiet as I was on the previous one because everybody is awake in the house now. And we also don't have that yellowish tint to the video like with the Captain America one that I did in about 3 o'clock this morning because it's broad daylight out now. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And we're supposed to have fairly decent weather today. It's going to go up to 51 degrees up here in northern New York. I have just taken my third to last dose of prednisone for my foot injury and trying to take it easy. But luckily for me, one of the most comfortable places to be is sitting at my work table making videos. So here we are. I don't know if I can keep this pace up. I don't even know if I want to keep this pace up if and when my injury heals. But in the meantime, here we are. So here on the left, we have our little, 5 3/4 inches or so correctly scaled 1/12 scale Marvel Legends Wolverine from the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave. If I recall correctly, he came with the tentacles of Apocalypse, and then we have his big brother here, the 12-inch Bobby Valla designed, I believe, Wolverine from the short-lived Hasbro Marvel Legends 12-inch line that came out about 10 or 12 years ago now, I believe. Maybe 11. Was it 2015 or 20? It might have been 2016, so maybe 10 years ago. This guy's definitely at least 10 years old. Not old enough to leave alone in the house, for any length of time, but old enough to trust in the living room, with some snacks, watching TV by himself for a little while, I guess. So yeah, I love showing these two together because it's basically the same figure, just I think most of the articulation is the same. The accessories that came with the big guy are pretty great, and they were emulated in the X-Men Love Triangle 3-pack Wolverine, like with the battle damage and all that. The battle damage, I was going to dig out the accessories, but I'm holding the camera by hand, and it's not easy to manipulate the accessories and stuff and show stuff off. I got to get a tripod. It's on my it's not on my short-term to-do list, but it definitely would make this a little more professional, a little more professional. So if you ever see the movie Seven, you're probably wondering, what's in the box? And there's a reason why I recruited Logan here to, see now, I had his feet positioned to work on the box, but they're not in a good position to stand up straight on solid ground. So there we go. Thought he could maybe co-host. Do his feet one more time. Just there we go. I think he'll stay put now. Maybe a little more. Yeah. Oh, somebody needs some Kiki's loose joint fix, huh? Shut up, bub. Yep. All right. So that Wolverine is in the 12-inch scale. He is not 12 inches tall because Wolverine is below average height for a normal human. And he scales well with these other guys because he's a little shorter than all of them. Just as basically this same sort of differential you have here with this AI Iron Man and Wolverine. So, he's almost a foot shorter than... But the reason why I got him out is because I thought it would be fun to show him off with the first of... I might call this video the Big 12-inchers. Because that's what we're looking at. And here we have... and he really is a big 12 inches. All right. How am I going to do this? I don't want to get them all out at once. As you can see, quite a bit taller than the comic book version. This is a wild explanation for why I have this figure. I've got this at Replay Toys in Burnt Hills, New York. It is a 12-inch Wolverine that I think was probably produced... I'm a manufacturer name on it. I don't see it. I think it was Toy Biz. It might have been Hasbro. I don't know. I feel like if it was Toy Biz, it wouldn't have a cloth outfit, so maybe it was Hasbro. Oh, yeah, I think it came out when one of the Wolverine movies came out, so it probably was Hasbro. It doesn't matter. I'm totally derailed. Anyway, yeah, I saw this in the box. I think it was unopened, new in box. If it wasn't, it was taken very good care of at Replay Toys in Burnt Hills, New York. And normally, I don't really go for the 12-inch figures because they're too big. I barely have room for all these 6-inch guys. Now we're going to double everything in size. This is about as many 12-inch figures as I can handle. But I got this guy because I love Snake Eyes. And you're like, well, what does Wolverine have to do with Snake Eyes? See his claws there? Those are pretty cool. And what it has to do with Snake Eyes is that this Wolverine, as you can see, he has a gun-holding hand with a trigger finger. And he came with a big 12-inch Uzi. And I was like, at the time, I was really in love with Snake Eyes having an Uzi and the fact that that's his signature weapon. And I actually, I have 40 or so Snake Eyes figures in my G.I. Joe Classified collection. And they're all, I have so many Snake Eyes that they have their own dedicated display. They're on a shelf all by themselves, about 40 of them. And obviously, Hasbro has only made 10 different Snake Eyes figures in the, different body types or different designs in the G.I. Joe Classified series collection so far. So if I have 40 and they've only made 10, on average, I have 4 of each, but in reality, it varies from the 00 Deluxe Snake Eyes. That was the first figure in the G.I. Joe Classified series line. That one was priced at $40 when it was released. I think it goes for about $200 now. If it's the legit one, I think there are some bootlegs of it out there. But I only have one 00 because I just couldn't afford to have more than one. But I have like 4 of the 02. And then I think the next one, was number 30, which was, oh, no, wait. I always forget about the movie one. I think that was in the teens somewhere, like number 16 or 17 or something. I blocked that one out of my mind, that movie Snake Eyes, even though I have 2 or 3 of them, because they were cheap. I mean, they were like $5 at Ollie's by the time all was said and done. And you don't really care how many I have of each Snake Eyes, I know, but I think the one I have the most of is 5 or 6, and then the least is the one of the 00. So it does average out to 4, though, since they have made 10 different ones, and I have 40, and that's math, and I apparently am really very obsessive-compulsive about explaining this, and I apologize for that. I do tend to over-explain. Check out my song Ramblin' Man in the music playlist. And everything will make sense. Anyway, I bought this Wolverine because it came with an Uzi scaled for 12-inch figures, and this was even before I had a 12-inch Snake Eyes, which is kind of funny, because eventually one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten in my life was this 12-inch Snake Eyes that my daughter-in-law got me. I think it was a Father's Day gift. I forget. I'm not 100% sure on that. Might be able to manage his accessories. So this is I think it was around the year 2000 or late 90s or 2000. Hasbro did a line of 12-inch. Hasbro started the G.I. Joe line, not G.I. Joe Classified, not G.I. Joe Real American Hero, just G.I. Joe. They started that line in 1964 with a line of 12-inch figures that had been inspired by the popularity of Barbie with girls. They basically wanted to create a Barbie for boys, and they did these 12-inch figures. And the articulation of this figure and the construction of it is nothing like those original G.I. Joes. I had some of those G.I. Joes in the early 70s when I was a little kid during the Vietnam War. And this doesn't even feel like those, I don't think. These were like their own thing, but I think they took some existing molds and they retooled them and did whatever they had to do to make the figures they wanted to make. And I found this one at a vintage toy store in Champlain, New York, near the Canadian border, north of Plattsburgh, probably about 2 hours from here, 2.5 hours from here. And I didn't find this one there. I found another one that I'm about to show you there. That's right. I got my stories mixed up. This one was a gift from my daughter-in-law. And she knew I loved Snake Eyes, and she somehow managed to find the perfect G.I. Joe thing to give to me because I really enjoy having, different examples of Snake Eyes. So here's my smallest Snake Eyes, which is the 3 3/4 inch 25th anniversary of a Real American Hero Snake Eyes. Just a little fella. Smallest Snake Eyes, biggest Snake Eyes. You'd think I would have gotten a medium Snake Eyes to show you too, but I didn't. Because this one was very off the cuff, very... I was looking for something else when I found this box, honestly. That Captain America video that I did earlier today, I was talking about the MCU Stealth Captain America, and I remembered that I had taken that figure and some Fortnite figures, and I think a couple of other Captain America figures from the movies, and I had put them somewhere in a box and put them away somewhere, and I can't find them. Can't find them. So that's annoying. But in my looking for them this morning after I did that video, I did find the box with my 12-inch figures that I'm showing you now. Not this guy. He's been here on the work table for quite some time. I don't want him to get too far away from his buddies in the New Avengers. Did you know Wolverine was in the New Avengers? He was. That's why he's here with my Avengers display. Or eventually, what will be my Avengers display here on the work table. They're just kind of milling around like the Shriners, as we've discussed before. Anyway, this Snake Eyes did not come with an Uzi. And the Uzi that came with Wolverine was too big for his hand, and also too big for his hand. And eventually I threw it out because I was pissed off because it was too oversized. But I do, now that I think about it, oh my God. Sorry about all the noise and all the chaos. All right, this is not the one. All right, I'll just get him out, and then there'll be one more. Boy, this is really annoying. All right. I gotta spread his legs out a little bit here. So this Uzi, now it's coming back to me. This Uzi might have come with the Snake Eyes. I might have been wrong. Yeah, this Uzi, I think, came with this Snake Eyes, and then the big Uzi that I'm talking about came with this Wolverine, and that was why I bought this Wolverine. But, I don't have, at the time I didn't have, I can't think straight. I am really having trouble thinking. I don't know. Anyway, I gave it to Deadpool. I gave it to this 12-inch Deadpool, and I got this at that Lake George toy show that I've mentioned a few times. I did used to have a complete set of these that I bought, every single one of them new, the 12-inch Marvel Legends, like this Deadpool and those Wolverine and these guys over here. But this Deadpool is missing some stuff. He didn't come with all his accessories. I think he was $20 at that convention. I don't know how much this X-Force Deadpool 12-incher goes for new. Probably at least $50, I would guess, but I got it for $20. He has these knee pads, which I think I may have stolen from Snake Eyes and given to him. I'm not sure. Because this is a very gangly figure. It's on the Spider-Man body mold that they did for the 12-inchers. And it just, the silhouette doesn't really scream Deadpool to me, so I tried to bulk him up a little by giving him the knee pads. I don't know that really was an effective technique, but, I'll be damned if I can really tell you where this Uzi came from. Did it come with the Snake Eyes? Is it the one that came with Wolverine? I don't know. I can't remember. Because at some point I put these guys all in a box because, I ran out of room here in the toy room. And when we're done here, They're probably just going to go back in the box. Although I should probably try to make a display for them out in the the Toy Room Art Gallery. Have you seen that video yet? So this display stand, if you especially if you use two hands, it's pretty easy to get him in here. All right, so his feet go into these little cups there, and then he's got his sword that he came with. That definitely he came with. Yeah, I'm gonna have to not put the sword in his hand right now because I like how it says Snake Eyes in case there's any doubt. Again, this looks like the version 4 Real American Hero Snake Eyes, the 3 3/4 inch one. I have the G.I. Joe classified version of this outfit as well, this design. I love the actual real metal dog tags and the vest, and he's got a knife strapped on his hip, and the mask actually is removable, which is cool, and you can actually see that they included a nod to the fact that under Snake Eyes' mask, he has extensive damage to his face, which is why he never removes his mask. Now, this doesn't look extensive, but at least they put a little effort in to showing his facial condition. I'm not really sure what the in-universe rationale is for the weird mask and everything. I was not, I don't know if that was from the DIC cartoons of Real American Hero or if it was from the comics. I'm not really sure. It's a weird looking outfit, but the 6-inch G.I. Joe classified version is pretty true to this one. It has these gauntlets on the arms. It has the vest. It has the mask. It's the classified version, the 6-inch version of this is my least favorite Snake Eyes of all my Snake Eyes, and probably one of my least favorite G.I. Joe classified figures, and I have about 380 of those. I really feel it was very half-assed. The holster for his weapon is really weird. It's not closed. It's just like a flap, and friction is supposed to hold the gun in it, but it just falls out, and it's I don't know what they were thinking with that version 4 6-inch Snake Eyes, but this one is better than that one, that's for sure. And as you can see, when he's on his stand, him and Wolverine are about the same height here. And then, we have our comparison with the other Wolverine, which is, Marvel Legends Wolverine. The camo and everything on this is great. This outfit is incredible. I mean, it really is quite nice. He has metal dog tags too, but they are a little bit more in scale. If you can tell, I mean, these are obviously hugely out of scale, but I think the idea was that kids were going to, well, the kid couldn't wear them because they would never get that around their neck. But other than that, they're almost human dog tag size, like 1-to-1 scale. And then Wolverines are clearly scaled more for the size of the figure. And I'm kind of propping myself up on the box that I had the figures in, and I just knocked the box into some stuff. So let me get everybody right with the world again. Oh my God, so disorganized. Yeah, #1 most disorganized action figure channel on YouTube. That's me right here. All right, come on, help me out here. All right, you're gonna have to lay down. He doesn't want to cooperate. So yeah, I wasn't gonna get Deadpool out this early, but there he is. So he's got an Uzi. I had to cut him a trigger finger because he didn't have a trigger finger, so I, used an X-Acto knife to separate the forefinger from the rest of the fingers on his hand. The Uzi itself is really nice. It's got paint on the magazine there, and on the buttstock right there. Just looks pretty good. A little dry brushing, I think, would really bring that up to even more to life, but it looks pretty great as it is. And there's the Snake Eyes sword. And finally, I mentioned the vintage toy store in Champlain, New York, near the Canadian border, very near the Canadian border. You literally can walk to the Canadian border from it. That's where I got this guy. And I got this guy before Snake Eyes, or I never would have bought this guy, because I'm going to throw the box away now. Get that out of my way. I bought this guy because I just, at that time I was really frenzied about collecting G.I. Joe Classified. And I wanted to have an example because I long ago, I mean, I was collecting G.I. Joes when I was 6 years old, 1972 or so. And those have been gone for literally decades, many, many decades. I think that they were gone by 1976, probably. I stopped playing with the 12-inch G.I. Joes. I much preferred the scale of the Megos, the 8-inch, 9-inch, whatever they were, Mego action figures. And so when I got into G.I. Joe Classified, the 6-inch figures, as I was building that collection, I thought, well, wouldn't it be fun to at least have one good example of what the original G.I. Joes kind of looked like? So I went up to that vintage toy store and I found his G.I. Joe section, and this is about as close as it's going to get. I picked this one, to be my 12-inch G.I. Joe. And again, that was before my daughter-in-law so graciously gifted me with Snake Eyes here. But this guy represents sort of the G.I. Joes that I had when I was a little kid. And I'm very happy to have him in the collection. Helmet comes off. You can see his hair there. He's got the patch on his shoulder and some grenades on his belt. He's got that custom H belt buckle. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but a lot of Hasbro figures, especially G.I. Joe, if you look carefully, the belt buckle forms the letter H. They're very clever about that. He's got the Thompson submachine gun here. We've seen this before in my collection, but not at this scale. Valaverse makes one. Marvel Legends makes one. Like the World War II Ultimate Captain America with the motorcycle, he came with one of these Thompson submachine guns, as did, I believe, the other World War II Captain America, which was the movie one that came in a 2-pack with Peggy Carter. Not Sharon, but Peggy. And, of course, he has the dog tags. Yeah. It's wild. I'm sure the ones that I had when I was a little kid had these, but I don't remember them seeming this huge. But I guess, I didn't really understand scale back then. Not that I really do now, but I understand it a little better than I did then. Let's get Wolverine out of the way here, since he was just here to, sort of set the stage for things as far as 12-inch figures. But other than my boxed up still Marvel Legends from about 10 years ago, the 12-inch ones, these 5 here, the Wolverine from that same series and the Deadpool from that same series, but then also this G.I. Joe Army guy and this Wolverine Army guy and Snake Eyes from A Real American Hero, Snake Eyes version 4, this design is known as. These are the only 12-inch figures in my collection. I mainly collect 6-inch. I do have a shelf of 7-inchers from NECA and McFarlane Toys. And who else? There's another. Oh, Super 7. I have a few Super 7 figures. We'll probably talk about those at some point because I got to warn you. Super 7 sucks. They suck so bad. Oh, my God. No, that's all I can think about now. Oh, and I do have some 9-inch figures, which I also found in a box when I found this box with the 12-inchers. And that is a whole other genre of fiction and a whole other intellectual property that I don't think we have talked about much on this channel, if at all. And I actually, it's from a toy line from the 90s and the early 2000s that at one point I had over 400 of them in my collection. Most of them were 4-inch figures, and then they had a 9-inch line in the same series that I had most of those as well. So I had over 400 of them. And now I think I have about 10 or 11. I got rid of most of them. Kept a few that meant a lot to me for one reason or another, these 9-inch figures with cloth outfits, cloth goods, soft goods, whatever you want to call it. And I will, when I put these back, I'll probably grab that box and do another video, but I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm trying to think what would be a good hint. What would be a good hint of what's in that box? What's in the box? What's in the box? I guess I won't give you a hint, but I will. I will probably dig out that box sometime today, and we'll take a look and see what's in it. Because they are kind of fun. Like these 12-inch guys, they're not terribly well, the 12-inch, the three in the middle here. These guys have great articulation for what they are, this Wolverine and Deadpool. You can actually pose them pretty well in a variety of ways. These guys, not so much. The 12-inch Hasbro figures, and I'm guessing all three of these are Hasbro. I certainly know the two G.I. Joes are. The Wolverine, I think, probably was, but he might, boy, it might have been in a Marvel Legends Icons Toy Biz box. Damn, I don't even know why I can't remember. I think no, now that I think about it, I think it was like a movie tie-in figure, maybe for the Wolverine, because you did see him, I think, briefly in World War II in that movie. And my guess would be that that Hasbro just, took a G.I. Joe mold and retooled it to do that. I don't know. That's my guess, but you know our motto around here: no research, zero research, avian and loaded, zero research, just all gut instinct and memory, and fading memory, and it's fading fast. All right, I guess we can wrap this one up. What do you think of these guys? These 12-inch 12-inch GI Joes, especially. I mean, I'm going to include Wolverine in that category. Because basically he did come with swappable hands, and the other hand had the claw on it, and I did manage to swap that with heat, but I don't know what kind of material. I think it's ABS that the claws are made out of, because they were holding up under the heat gun, while I was trying to get that the right hand off of him, and then all of a sudden they just completely shriveled, which broke my heart. However, I did manage to heat them up again long enough to sort of get them back into somewhat indecent shape. I'm talking about the ones from the right hand, not this left hand. I'm just showing you the left hand for an idea of what it would have looked like. But I noticed the last time that I saw it in my fodder bin that right hand from this Wolverine, that the claws have actually mostly regained their shape. And I was only able to get them somewhat in shape by heating them up and trying to straighten them out with my hand. But over time, the plastic seems to have remembered what it's supposed to be, or what shape it's supposed to be in, and kind of fixed itself or healed itself to the point where that hand is now good enough, the other claw hand, that I would put it back on. But it was so difficult getting the hand off and on that I'm afraid that if I screw with this anymore, I'm going to break him. And I don't want to break him because he's not what I collect, just as a general rule, but he looks pretty good and he's in pretty good shape. And, I want to respect him enough not to break what's left of him, So, yeah, I get very emotional about these things. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm the same way about my songwriting. When I write songs and they're a character that isn't me, it's not just me or, just a generic, voice, point of view. Like my album, Always on the Run, which you'll find in in my playlists, recommended playlists on the homepage here on YouTube. I'm very proud of that album. I think there's a lot of nice songs on it, and I wrote every single word of it. And when I'm writing from another point of view, and most of the songs on that album are written from a female point of view, I feel very protective of that character. Like I want to respect them and treat them, right. And I think that it results in some integrity to the lyrics. And I feel the same way about my figures. I try to respect them. If I love it enough to have it in my collection, I do want to respect them and not break them or just toss them around. Or, I mean, sometimes I have no choice but to put them in a box sometimes and put them in a closet for a little while until some display space opens up. But, these guys are all in pretty good shape. I mean, Deadpool's seen better days and he's missing a lot of accessories, but he got a shiny new Uzi for his trouble. And I think these 3 12-inch soldier figures, I think they look pretty goddamn good. And I want to keep them that way. So that's what I'm going to do, is gently put them back into a place where they're going to be okay. Yep, Wolverine approves. So that'll do it. Coming up again on a half an hour. Maybe that'll be our new default length here on Action Figure Obsession. Thanks for joining me for this look at my big 12-inchers. And join us on the next Action Figure Obsession. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment if you have any questions or comments or insights. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you find out the next time I pull a box out of the closet and show you what's in the box. And share it with your friends. If you know anybody who likes 12-inch G.I. Joes or 12-inch Deadpools or, 9.5-inch Wolverines, however tall he is. He's probably a little more, he's probably 10.5. I don't know. I'm not going to get the measuring tape out. I'm never going to do all the things the other action figure guys do. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Just way too busy. All right. That's it. That's it for now. Thank you for spending a half an hour with me. I do appreciate and value your time, and I will see you on the next Action Figure Obsession. Bub.